Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
I'm going to say something scandalous, Ronnie.
Go on.
Plants are meat. And not only are they meat, they're delicious, especially if they're from Impossible Foods.
They taste like beef.
Exactly. Impossible is making meat history this summer.
Yeah, they are. Summer of Impossible.
I am so excited to be spending time cooking my summer foods, all that good stuff. And guess what? We can use Impossible sausages, Impossible brats. I mean, it's going to be a great summer for Impossible Foods.
Impossible beef is made from plants and 19 grams of protein per serving, and it's better for the planet.
And it's meat.
Plant meat, correct. So if you're looking for something to grab for your grill, grab some Impossible beef.
Summer of Impossible.
Start making meat history today. Just head over to the meat aisle at your local grocery store, grab some Impossible beef or patties, and get grilling. Introducing the new Audible original Breakthrough.
The genre-redefining audio-only series that strips away the superficial to reaffirm what matters most. Pure talent.
Featuring celebrity judges Kelly Rowland, Sarah Bareilles, and host David Diggs.
Hear every step of the musical journey as 5 undiscovered musicians battle through a series of high-stakes singing and songwriting challenges for one top spot.
As musically gifted as they are artistically unique, each finalist is driven by the same dream, to become music's next must-listen.
But to break through, they'll have to dig deep, pushing their vocal, songwriting, and recording chops to their absolute limits while keeping their feet and emotions firmly grounded.
So, who will break through? It's time to find out.
Join Kelly, Sarah, and David on a musical journey unlike anything you've ever seen.
This is Breakthrough.
Listen on Audible or wherever you get your podcasts.
Go to audible.com/breakthrough.
Follow along using hashtag BreakthroughXAudible.
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on Yale Profs. Hi, everybody. I'm Ronnie. Please welcome the gorgeous and talented Ben to the show. Ben.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. This is a very rough below deck episode. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a very upsetting gay episode of Below Deck.
Yeah.
And I feel like last episode of Below Deck Sailing, they threatened us with some bad gays. And then they turned out to be lovely gays. And then they were like, that was just your entree. The threat was really this week.
Yes. We saw good gays. Now we see evil gays. It's a good reminder that gays are not monolith. Yeah. We come in all shapes and sizes and
there's
terribleness.
Good and there's bad of everything. Okay.
And
you've got your peanut M&Ms, which are your good gays, and then you've got your coconut
Protein
coffee M&Ms. Okay, that nobody understands. Nobody really gets why you're doing this M&Ms, but you can cut the shit now. Okay.
Yeah.
Those kind of gays, and that's the kind of gay we get today. Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. Get a good job, because if you have a good job, you can get any sort of shit you want. I mean, that little guy really has a hot boyfriend. He bought himself a nice hot boyfriend for his throuple. I mean, it's a lot, Ben. Continue with the intro. I didn't even intro this show.
Yeah, well, no, we're going to be talking some Below Deck Sailing today. Bravo put on 2 episodes on Monday night. So this is the first of the 2 episodes. The second one is the finale. I guess it's all to gear up for the Bravo premiere of Below Deck Down Under next week. So I guess maybe that's why they rush it. Maybe they wanted to debut this next week's Below Deck along with Roni. It's like a premiere week next week. So anyway, we had this episode, which, by the way, I just want to piggyback off something you're saying, which is that a lot of people reminded us that the gays from the last charter, they have been on Below Deck before. There was, I think it was last season or a season before regular Below Deck, there was a similar preference sheet situation where Chef Rachel saw it and was like, fuck this, and walked off the boat and was like, I'm not doing this. And it was apparently... And I remember that moment. And I remember that those people turned out to be perfectly lovely and fine. And I was even going to mention that on the podcast. But apparently it's actually it's like the same actual charter guests. I'm not sure, but so if any of this seems familiar from last time, that's why. So we had a lot of people message us about that. Before we dive into that, though, come join us on Patreon, patreon.com/watchforcrappens. You get early access to all our videos because we are doing Crappens on Demand. And if you support on the Crappens on Demand level, you get early access to our videos. You can see us right now recording before they go on to YouTube a week later. And you also get access to things like our weekly bonus episode. This week's bonus episode, we are going to be partaking in Amazon Prime Day, and we are going to be scouring for great deals, and we're going to record the entire experience. It's one of our favorite things to do. I personally am in the market for a butter keeper, and hopefully I can find one that I like. So keep an ear out for that.
Huge things coming. Okay, guys.
Huge.
But yeah, here we go. Let's get into it. Okay. So we ended the last one with this completely bonkers and cringy and disgusting
Gross
moment of Gary coming up to Mads and being like, "Is it that time of the month for you? Are you just out of interest?" And she's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I think you could have the common decency to tell me not to go down on you if you were on your time of the month." I'm like, oh my God.
Which is like so inappropriate. So deeply inappropriate, like, and such a deep, like, HR violation. And he's like, "Well, I've got to speak to Alex because I think that's pretty gross for him to be saying that." Blah, 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 blah. And then he tells us, he goes, "I'm mad at Alex. I mean, how does he find out that she's on her period when I'm the one licking her vagina?" I was like, "You are terrible."
I mean, he
terrible.
gets even worse. I mean, like, within the same minute, he gets worse, you know? It's like, next week, Gary even goes lower. And Gary's like, "I think I have a right to know." And she's like, "I think you'd freaking know." Which, finally, thank you, because people have mocked me all week for not, both of us really, for not knowing how periods work and all of that stuff. But that was my one question that nobody answered this entire 2 weeks that we've been gone from the show, which was, wouldn't you fucking know? I mean, I haven't really been down there, but wouldn't you know? Nobody answered me. Finally, Mads answered me out of her own mouth, which is, wouldn't you fucking know? And so Gary was like, "Oh, was Alex getting freaky with her to find out? You know, just how would he know?" Well, gee, God forbid. You've never heard somebody say, "Oh my God, I'm on my period. Uh-oh, my period's about to start."
It's amazing what you can learn from people.
I'm on my period.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can learn from people by just asking them questions like, "How's it going? What's going on with your life right now?" You know, instead of just like trying to endlessly flirt with them and be like, "Well, do you like me? Do you not like me?" Blah blah blah. So so Alex is like, "God, Colin and Gary are the largest."
I love those
gossip
casual
queens in
conversations
history.
I have with people when I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? You on your period today?" How's that been? Just listen to what you were really saying. I'm like, yeah, you know, just ask people about themselves. How are you? How's your period? Should be around. It's around now, right? We're friends.
Well, but you know, if you just talk to people, you might find out information naturally.
I'm just teasing.
Ron, are you on your period?
Always. Mentally, always.
So Alex is basically saying how Gary and Colin are the biggest gossip queens in history. He's like, "I literally can't tell them anything." And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, like, act professional, Gary."
Yeah, I mean, that is accurate. Won't be a secret for more than 5 minutes at professional gear. I'm like, why is Chase now a full-fledged cartoon character? Like, he can't just even say a sentence without pantomiming the whole sentence. Have you noticed that in his talking?
Yes.
By the end, he's just acting out the whole thing, you know?
He's just acting like a Big Brother contestant in the confessional. Being like, "So what I have to do in this competition is hold on to the rope. Not so easy, even for someone. You know what? This competition's so hard. I'm out at sea."
So then Gary and Colin are in the wheelhouse, and Gary's like, "I hate this. Now I look like an idiot." And Colin's like, "What's going on?" "Well, clearly, I just had to ask her, Brew. I feel like a puss, Brew." He's like, "Why? Why do you feel like a puss?" "Because she's not even on her period, Brew. I got mad about the period. She's not even on." That's why you feel like an ass? God, you're so fucking helpless, dude. And this is the perfect thing is happening to Gary, and I'm actually loving watching it. unfurl because it's what we called his first season. We're like, this is this guy's. Carol from Real Housewives of New York, her first season, she said, listen, I'm in my 50s. I've got 5 good summers left. And we still make fun of that because, like, what a ridiculous thing to say. Like, you're just a carton of milk just waiting to rot. But in Gary's first season, I was like, this is that guy who's just right at that age where his hotness is about to turn. Like, he's about to turn in. He's milk that's about to turn into cheese, and he's about to start learning really quick that the tables turn, and nobody wants your ranted ass. And I'm loving watching all of his charm just completely wash away. And you know what? He doesn't even comb his hair. He doesn't even make any effort because he does not know it's going away,
Yeah, he is clinging on to something that is fleeting away from him. Yes. So then Colin's like, why would Alex say that about the period if it wasn't true? And Gary goes, oh, because he's causing drama. And Colin's like, well, how would that even come up in conversation? Like, they're shocked. So then Mads goes, Matt's like, oh, I think I realize why Alex said that, because he was laying on me last night. And we see a flashback of the previous episode when Alex like sits on her or something, and she's like, stop, I'm bloated, I'm on my period. And he goes, oh, and she goes, just kidding, which was really, I guess Alex didn't hear the just kidding part. I think actually none of us heard the just kidding part.
No, we heard it. It's just you don't know if she really is or not. Mads is just one of those people that talks like that. Like, I have a friend who's like, she'll say, yeah, no. She says that a lot. So you're like, yes or no, though. You'll be like, so how was work today? And she'll go, yeah, no, no, I don't fucking know. Will you tell me what you're saying? Yeah, but I mean, just kidding. But not really.
Yeah.
Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, no.
Mads talks like that. But first of all, that conversation was even grosser because Alex was like, you're bloated. She's like, oh, yeah, because I'm on my period. Just kidding. So who knows? Who knows?
Exactly.
Why am I spending that much time on it?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I saw like a meme, some stupid meme that was like, isn't it funny that like, yeah, no means no, but no, yeah means yeah. I was like, So that's what I think of that meme. So Gary is like, well, I won't even be able to show my face anymore. And then it's like time for provision. So that means they're firing up the Southern Charm music again. It's like,
I know, it's so weird. It's like all those times on Southern Charm we've seen people bring in groceries, which is like never. Like, why is it consistently literally on never. The provisions part? It's like, shrimp delivery.
And then I guess one of the things that was requested were Reese's Puffs cereal. And Chase goes, oh, Reese's Puffs. And Daisy just goes, for the gas. Don't even fucking touch it.
And I just like how she's for too. Screaming. This is for like the young Throuple member, the boyfriend, of course.
Yeah, it was for Nick, the one who didn't know what a parsnip was. We'll get to him. That Throuple.
So the guests are arriving by tender at 1:00. Captain Sandy moved at One Park. So they start getting fired up, and Gary and Mads are in the mess. And Gary's like, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't even want to show my face to you because I was so embarrassed for asking you that. I couldn't believe I asked you that.
She's like, sir, that's not an apology. One more charter, and I'm done with all of that.
Can't wait to hook up with him again. Like, you're really getting difficult for me to root for, Mads. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It's like someone in 2 leg casts that just keeps running into traffic. You're like, it's just you not see.
It's exactly like that.
Have you learned your lesson?
I get off on it. Run me over, bro.
So Alex and Colin are talking outside, and Alex is like, yo, Colin, thanks for making the Mads period thing an issue, dude. Jesus Christ. But, like, I forgive you. And Colin's like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. Yes, you fucking did, you little gossip. Cut the crap.
Yeah.
All you're doing is pushing Gary to go crazy so he won't focus on you. It's not going to work, sir.
Yeah. And so then Mads is like, I'm over everyone this morning. So she tells Daisy, and Daisy's like, I I'm in shock. Now, I kind of felt like what I wanted to hear from Daisy was he is not allowed to ask questions like that of my stews, and I'm going to talk to him right now and tell him that that was totally inappropriate. But instead, she's just like, I'm going to go downstairs. Like, she doesn't really do anything about it. And I thought that was like a big failure on Daisy's part.
I do too, but I also think that the lines are just so blurred on this show specifically. You know, Below Deck is always bad with matters of HR, always, especially with male chauvinism and sexual harassment at the very least. Okay. Mm-hmm. But this one really crosses the line because Gary's a head of department constantly fucking the people lower in the hierarchy. So it's really hard to like there are no lines drawn on this show. So I don't know how you suddenly start drawing lines, but it would have been nice to see you try. You know, you don't make a perfect line your first time, but you know, practice makes perfect. Start baby steps, baby draws, you know?
So then Alex is telling Colin, he's kind of bragging to Colin that if he had just put in any sort of effort, he would have totally had Mads. And Colin's like, you reckon it's game on? And he's like, maybe. So then, meanwhile,
Colin's like, just don't cut his lunch then. Colin, you're literally a sandwich knife right now. What are you talking about cutting his lunch? You're cutting his lunch. Stop accusing everybody else of cutting lunch. It's like a lunch lady fight over there. Stop it.
So Gary, meanwhile, his retaliation is he's going to put Alex on lates so he doesn't have to look at him. And he's like, I'm very happy not seeing Alex all fucking day. And like, he can cause his dramas on the night watch. Blah, 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 blah. So then, which is like stupid because he shouldn't be on the night watch because he's also really bad at night watch, by the way. So meanwhile, the dudes are trying to figure out where the throuple will go downstairs. And Daisy's trying to explain the throuple to Lucy. And Lucy seems very confused by the entire concept.
Yeah. She's like, but where are they going to sleep then? The twin cabins. But they're all couples then. No, apparently they're a married couple and they've got a boyfriend. She's like, so basically they get bored of each other then. Oh, God. Like Lucy, girl.
If one member of the throuple falls out of bed at night, are they still a throuple?
So wait, you're telling me they've got one window that comes up between each of them, so the bed has to fit 3 glass windows in there for them not to fall out of the bed then?
That's not how it works.
So now Chase tells Alex that Gary's pissed at him. So Alex is like, what? So he goes up to Gary and he's like, yo, are we square? Are we good? And Gary's like, oh, you're talking to me? Well, I don't know why the fuck you want to cause drama. I'm like, you are the one who walked up to a lady on the boat and said, are you on your period? Because I don't understand why you're on your period and not telling me because I'm licking your vagina. Like, you are the one who caused the drama.
And Colin is also the one who ran
and Colin, but mainly Gary.
And Alex is the one for causing drama, for even saying it in the first place to Colin, who he knows is just going to run to Gary to say something. You know, they're all fucking drama queens. And so Alex is like, what did I do, bro? And Gary's like, what you said to Colin, like that time of the month thing to get a reaction out of me.
Alex is like, none of that was said to you. And Gary's, oh, but then I have to go ask her, and I look like a fucking idiot, you know, when I ask her. I'm like, well, you know what? If you were really concerned about the situation, you didn't have to chase her down when she was sitting there on a staircase in front of someone else and say all this stuff. It was really, really concerning to you. If you were concerned about your health, that you may have had licked her blood, then you maybe pull her, if ever at all, you pull her aside and ask her privately where she can't be potentially humiliated on camera.
You know what should concern you? Sun damage. Okay, get on that. So he's like, yeah, and I had to go ask her because I look like an idiot. And I like that Alex is like, actually, no, you didn't have to go ask her. He's like, but why would she tell you that then? Because I went to ask her and she said no. And he goes, dude, I didn't do any of this. Are you hearing yourself? I didn't come to you with this. Why are you blaming me? And he tells us that was an incredibly disrespectful and immature way to deal with this. Even thinking about it, I can only come 3 times in a row. It's sad.
He goes, I said, you look bloated. And she said, yeah, it's because I'm on my period. That's all the conversation that happened. And there was nothing about you to try to start drama. And Gary's like, blah, blah, blah. And he storms away. He's like, shut up. So, is Gary upset that, it seems almost like Gary is more upset that Alex knew something that he didn't, which is also ridiculous.
I'm just getting that he's mad that he thinks Alex purposely spread it around that Mads was on her period to make Gary mad so he would look stupid by confronting Mads. It's like, babe, Alex can barely mop. You know what I mean? Like, he's not thinking that far ahead. God bless him. He's gorgeous, seems very nice, but Alex is not going to be like, he's not a chess kind of a person, you know?
No. So Alex, like, this just shows Gary's leadership style, dysfunctional as fuck, and it's toxic as fuck. It's like a mess. So the anchors go down, naughty boys go out, the toys go out, and everything, and because the gays are going to come via water taxi or via tender because they want, as soon as they arrive, they want to get right into the water toys. So all that stuff is happening.
Lucy sniffs her armpits, and I get really jealous of her because she goes, I smell like chicken nuggets. I would love that kind of a smell. I've always like that. If there was a genie that came out, I don't know if it would be chicken nuggets, but like fresh French fries, you know, or like fresh cookies. I wish that's what my smell tasted like, or
fresh
smelled
cookie
like.
smell. Could you imagine?
Be so
nice.
popular. So Daisy and Colin are in the engine room flirting, you know, and she's like hanging on him from the back. It's like, I hope you don't talk about anything. Sorry. She's like, I hope you don't talk about anything about me to the guys. And he's like, I don't. Why? She's like, I'm actually in shock of a really inappropriate thing that was said to Mads, and I don't know why you would say that so fucking crudely and disrespectfully. It's super fucked up, and I'm going to talk about it in every scene and not ever say a thing to him about it.
Yeah, seriously. And Con goes, well, don't worry. They haven't asked me anything. I haven't told them anything about us. So now the Gary and Chase go on a tender to get the guests, and now we get our first glimpse of the gays. So first we have Grant and Todd, who are like the primaries, and Grant is like, he's wearing a shirt and it's like just fully open, and he is of course like worked out and everything, but he has his torso is out there, but he has put on an enormous statement necklace hanging from his neck with his open shirt, and he's definitely like, he's coming on with a look.
This is definitely a Countess Luann fan.
Yes.
And he's like, okay, let's find our hot deckhand. And Chase is like, oh my God, it's like a fitness convention. And my big dick. Okay. Also, a lot of comments on Chase's big wiener. That wiener didn't look right. So I'm not really sure if it was fake, stuffed. If he was stuffing. The wiener doesn't start where it was starting, and it doesn't end where it was ending. None of it made any sense. No one's penis starts all the way to the right of their pelvic bone. You know what I mean?
You know what? There's only one way to settle this. Only one way to settle this. We're going to need a full nude, Chase. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to do that. So I thought it was, by the way, so this guy shows up, and when he says, like, let's find a hot deckhand, and then we see the throuple behind them. They don't get names. They're just called the throuple. And then it just says the throuple. And then that's when Chase goes, wow, it's like a fitness convention. And then Grant, the guy with the open shirt, grabs both of Gary and Chase's shirts. And he tugs at them. And he's like, you guys' shirts will be off next. I'm like, just everyone on this show, everyone is just totally inappropriate at all times, I guess.
Yes.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
You know what I love about saving money is that when I save money, I can then spend that money on things I really want to spend money on, like nice food or board games.
Rakuten helps us to be a smarter shopper and save money on just about everything.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop.
We have things we need to buy, whether it's home essentials or a self-care treat just for you.
Yeah, with Rakuten, we can get cash back on clothes, groceries, travel, and much more. In fact, there are over 4,200 stores across every single category on Rakuten.
Even better, you can stack cash back on top of other deals like store sales and credit card points.
In case you're wondering, the stores in Rakuten are ones that you know and love, and lots of cool ones waiting to be discovered. I mean, some of my personal favorites are Expedia, CVS.com, JCPenney, Instacart. I mean, it just goes on and on. Join the 17 million members who are already saving. It's free and easy to join Rakuten and start getting cash back. Start shopping at Rakuten.com now, or download the Rakuten app to start saving today. Your cash back really adds up. That's RAKUTEN.com.
Just Jack and Will is the ultimate Will and Grace rewatch podcast. Hosted by the iconic duo of Sean Hayes and Eric McCormack, you can relive every hilarious moment of this hit TV show from start to finish. As only two people who were there could tell you, Sean and Eric bring a wealth of behind-the-scenes knowledge, insights, and laughs to each episode. They'll share fun stories, answer fan questions, and bring back cast and crew members who made the show so special. You'll feel like you're watching the show for the first time again. Whether you're a longtime fan or just discovering Will and Grace, Just Jack and Will is the podcast you've been waiting for. Sean and Eric will make you laugh, cry, and everything in between as they relive some of the most memorable moments in TV history. Journey through the iconic sitcom that captured the hearts of millions from around the world. Follow Just Jack and Will wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music or the Wondery app. So then Lucy.
Well, this is off me saying, well, Chase, you got to send us a nude pic.
Well, listen, we're men too, you know. We're still pigs. Like at the end of the day, we can say whatever we want, but at the end of the day, we're still men, and we have to suffer the consequences. So. Blah, blah, blah. So Lucy is still confused. She's like, so wait, they're screwing each other then? Matt is like, oh, or do you think like they take turns with a boyfriend? Well, I couldn't do it. I'd be like, get the fuck off my husband then. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you get married and then you get a boyfriend? I don't understand. What don't you fucking understand? First of all, Mads, you're basically with a Petri dish who's been with literally every person who's ever walked within 6 feet of him.
Yes.
Okay. You know better than anyone what it's like. And you're already in kind of a throuple on this boat. If you're already this comfortable in this like quasi throuple that you're in, you'll be fine in the future. I think you'll understand these guys much, much sooner than you think.
Yeah, exactly. So now we get some names on the throuple. There's Nick, who's the boyfriend, and then there's Randy and Brad, who are husbands. And Brad is like this; he's like a little pocket gay. And like as soon as you see him, you can already tell what the dynamic of this relationship is. Brad has the money, right? Brad's the one paying the bills, right? And then Nick is like the hot young one who like they need to bring in because Randy was once the hot one, and now Randy is now just like leeching off of Brad. And so now like Brad is dissatisfied but trapped, so he has to bring in Nick. So like right off the bat, you can just sort of tell this is what the dynamic is, and that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what the dynamic is as it reveals itself over the course of the episode.
Randy is vile. He is fucking vile. He is disgusting. Oh my God. So I
know it's like you can just tell what Randy's entire backstory is too. That's the best part. I feel like Randy is basically, I feel like he comes from like a conservative family in Pennsylvania and they talk about Christmas a lot. Like, oh, did you hear? Grandma Beth, her favorite ornament, we lost it. Oh, really? We lost Grandma Beth's ornament? Oh, found it. Okay, thank God it's still October. We had plenty of time to find it. It's not how Pennsylvanians talk. Gave him a southern accent.
He's terrible. So then
he's obsessed with Grandma Beth and her Christmas plans.
Oh, I really wanted his mother to be on board, but it's not his mother. It's Todd's mother. So there's a nice couple. There's Todd and Grant. They're the nice couple. I mean, Grant was this kind of sexual harassy one at the beginning with the statement necklace, but they turn out to be lovely, right?
Right.
The throuple is horrible, right?
So terrible.
Todd's mother is Deborah, and she's the mother of one of the nice ones. So the captain welcomes them, and she's like, El Capitan! And I was like, okay, I'll forgive her that. But then they go on the tour, and Todd's like, so what do you think, Mom? And she goes, every mother deserves a gay son. I was like, oh my God, I would never take this woman anywhere. This woman's going to be terrible. She's terrible, right? Did you hate Deborah?
I like Deborah, actually. At first, I thought she was going to be terrible, but I actually liked her. Especially because when you have Randy there, everyone just sort of seems perfectly fine, right? Like,
yeah, I
Randy
hated her
made
first
Grant
until
seem
Randy.
okay.
Yeah, until Randy acted up, I really hated Deborah. And then I was like, at least, well, we'll get to it. I don't want to give any spoilers.
So the throuple gets the master suite because That way they all fit, as they say. And they're walking around. And of course, Randy is like, what's the thread count for these sheets? Because of course it's going to be the guest. It's never we always say it's never the primaries. It's always like the guest of the primaries. And in this case, it's the guest who's also the husband to the sugar daddy guy here, So of course he's complaining about the thread counts.
So then Gary sees Mads in the kitchen. She's unpacking groceries, and he's like, "Ooh, what's up, what's up?" And she just ignores him. He's like, so then Lucy is talking to the guys, and she's like, "Are you guys late nighters?" He's like, "We're sunrisers, not late nighters." She's like, "What's that then? Is that some weird sexual kind of thing?"
He's like, no, it's just a play on. It's just a different take on staying up all night until the sun rises.
Oh, I see.
Also, Grant says the phrase, one of the phrases I really never like to hear, which is, "We brought our own circuit music." I was like, no. Circuit music is the worst.
And one of them, I don't know which one it is, because we have a few things to press. Is that okay? And I'm like, sure. Okay, we left it on the bed. And then that's all we hear for now. So then water toys, and then we see Mads go into the room and find the pile of stuff to press, and it's bigger than Mads.
It is enormous. It is like it looks like she's robbing a dry cleaners. She has just like like stacks and stacks and stacks of clothes.
She really does look like an ant carrying a watermelon. She looks crazy.
How is it that these guys who wear virtually nothing this entire trip have so much stuff that has to be pressed?
Because that fucking Grant, the statement necklace, is like Blanche Dubois. Is it Blanche Dubois is Tennessee Williams, or is that
Yes.
Golden Girls Blanche? Or both.
Blanche
that's
Devereaux.
Okay,
And-
he dresses like Blanche Devereaux. He's like a Speedo, but then he always has like a Blanche Devereaux robe.
Yes. Yeah, he's definitely into Golden Girls fashion. So then Lucy turns to Daisy and goes, "This is going to be a bad one." And Daisy goes, "Yeah, it's going to be a bad one." So meanwhile, downstairs during the water sports, so Deborah's on this like float. She's sort of
on
struggled
the
to get on it. Unicorn float, right? And that is like, it's tied to the naughty boy, so it doesn't float away. So Alex takes her phone so it doesn't fall in the water, and he goes into sort of like the little garage, the yacht garage, to go stow it away so it'll be safe. And while he's doing that, Randy unties Deborah from the naughty boy, and he's like, "There you go." He's like, go have fun or whatever. He just like unties her, and she
Because she goes,
floats
"I
right away.
think you need to cut me loose, and then you need to come rescue me." So they do. They cut her loose, and then she just starts floating away.
She just floats away. And she's like, "Bye." And Alex has to hop on he has to get a sea bob, and he has to go and like rescue her on the sea bob. And Daisy goes up to Randy, goes, "Did you untie her?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to help Todd get his inheritance sooner. I mean, she's 72. There's not much left."
So then Alex has to tow her back and then tips her over again. So funny. So then after the toys, Colin and Chase are in bed, and Colin's like, "So you hear about this whole Gary and Chase debacle, the whole period thing?" God, fucking Colin, my God, he's such a little goss. And then Chase is like, "It's so dumb, dude." Oh, sorry, I punched my mic. Gary asked me this morning, he's like, "Do you want to be on the day shift?" Because like he didn't want to have to see Alex.
Yeah. And Colin's like, "He's going to put Alex on nights to punish him. Is that what's happening?" And Chase goes, "Yeah, because he didn't want to see him, And so Chase is like, "I'm sure Gary feels really embarrassed, but I don't feel bad for the guy. The immature way he deals with conflict is exactly what got him into this mess. And you can't let it consume your work life like the way Gary does."
And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd ever hook up with a girl after she hooked up with Gary." Colin's like, "I'm doing it." Chase goes, "Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you should probably go see a doctor." So then Randy orders a double martini, which, what the fuck is that?
What's the rush?
What's a double martini? And listen, I'm a martini queen. I love a martini.
But like,
Even
what is
I
the
don't
rush?
order
There's
a
no
double
closing hour.
martini. What the fuck are you doing? Why don't you just order heroin? Just order heroin already, you fucking addict. My God.
So And he's just like staring at her, like pouring the drink. It's just like with that look, like, oh, Grandma Beth's not here to pass judgment on me now. So he's just doing that, and like he's getting another shot. And Daisy's like,
These guests are drinking like what? Like water's running out of the ocean. Okay, I just want nice, normal guests for once.
so it's just like more booze, more shots, more Randy getting wasted.
And Randy burps, and then he stops. He like burps and almost barfs, but then stops himself and looks up the stairs and is like, I can do this.
Yeah. So then there's like an awkward moment in the crew mess because like Gary's sitting at the table and Alex is sitting next to him, and then Mads walks up and goes, Scooch, and then Alex steps up so that she can take a spot, and she goes, I said scooch, I meant move in. And then Gary's like, but I can't scooch in, and she's like, oh, sorry. And so concludes Scooch Theater.
Mads refuses to scooch with Gary. Dun, dun, dun. So then Daisy delivers shots, and Randy goes, you took forever. And the little guy is like, honey, she's busy. And he's like, doing what? I thought this was her job. I was like, fucking die. Just throw him off the boat. Why are you ending it like this? Why is this? Okay, you know what? It's not gay pride anymore. I guess that's why. I guess that's what Bravo did. You know, they were like, it's gay pride. Here's some good gays. Gay pride's over, and here's how we're giving. Here's how we're.
You're the bad ones.
You're the bad ones. I hate this guy. He's so, and not because he's gay, because he's just a vile fucking human being.
He is, and his eyebrows are sort of like, he's such a dick that like his eyebrows have actually been like, are like now formed into asshole. Like, you know, when you're making like your Nintendo Mii or something like that, or an avatar in a video game, and you can do all sorts of funky things with your eyebrows. And like, you know, one thing is to like a super angry eyebrow, but no one ever does that. But his eyebrows, because he's so angry all the time, are naturally in that state where they like they go up on the outside and like down
like
on the
Brittany
inside.
from Vanderpump Rules. He's just, I think, came of age where that was like the eyebrow thing. Listen, I'm still in eyebrow regrowth mode, and I'm old, and I'm like still trying to get those back. He looks like he just never got out of that stage where it was like the plucking of the high arch that we were doing back then. This poor guy.
He's just an angry lady. So the cheers queers. And so Daisy goes downstairs after this guy is like, she took forever. She has a stash. I can hurry up. She's like, they're psychopaths. So now Randy is wasted, and he's like talking to Todd, who's the primary, and he's like, you know what though, you've always been sincere though. And then he just like, as he's talking, he has his glass, he does the Lucille Bluth, where as he's talking, he just sloshes half his drink out of his glass onto the table, and everyone's like, Randy, you just spilled half a drink on me.
Yeah, and someone's like, do you need some more olive juice? And he's like, walks off. So Randy goes down and crashes on his bed, and now it's time to sail. Which I love that the captain is just like, fuck that guy. Let's just bang him all around.
Let's roll him off the bed.
And then of course Lucy burns herself on the iron because it's Lucy. You know, so it is selling time, and then the statement necklace gay just goes, yo.
Yeah, so Todd and Grant's statement necklace gay, they're lying on the deck, they're watching the sailing, they're excited for this, but meanwhile the throuple is downstairs in their room fighting because Randy's passed out and they went to tend him. So Nick is there, and Nick is the young boyfriend, like the hot young boyfriend. And he's like, hey, I got you water. And Randy goes, fuck you.
He goes, fuck you, get off of me. And he goes, I'm trying to help you from falling and breaking your damn neck. And he goes, oh yeah, whatever. He goes, get back in bed, Randy, right now. Just leave me alone. Fucking hurts. Fucking rental. Get the fuck out of here. You're not permanent.
So Nick is like, Randy, get back in bed. Get back in bed. And Randy's like, please leave me alone right now. Leave me alone.
So then Grant and Todd are cuddling on the deck, and they start getting frisky. And Grant's like, oh my God, get out of here. The captain is right there looking at us. And he goes, I know, it's kind of hot. Let's do it like right in front of the captain. He goes, stop it. Let's go to our room. Come on, let's go to our room. Which, by the way, that's probably the one captain who wouldn't mind. You know,
he wouldn't.
We've learned a lot about this captain this season.
Listen, I've been on this. I spent 8 years on this boat with Sierra and the other guy. I watch them have sex everywhere, so this is like nothing.
Yeah.
Paget and Sierra.
Yeah.
Would have been funnier if I remembered his name before I started talking.
So that was fun 5 minutes of sailing. Now they're putting the sailing things away, the sails, and Alex and Mads are talking, and he's like, wow, I wish I had style. And she goes, I like your style. It's like simple and clean and hot. He goes, oh, stop it. You're getting me all fired up.
Yeah, that's so hot. That like ironing room flirtation. Yeah. So then, so now there's like, and then it's like a moment of awkwardness between Alex and Gary where they like talk, but then there's like a lot of silence afterwards because Gary's still mad at Alex. And meanwhile, Randy is still fighting in his room. And he's like, you leave me on the goddamn floor, pass the fuck out, and you couldn't even put me on the fucking bed. You can apologize. I'm pissed.
And Nick's like, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry that you got so drunk that I tried to take care of you. Sorry for that. Like, I know. I'm sorry that you left me on the fucking floor, Nick.
Wait, we have to imagine, did Randy roll off the bed? Is that what happened? Like, why?
Yes,
Because
he
we
got
saw him
blown
pass
off.
on. We saw him pass out on the bed. And he wound up on the floor.
Yes, because Nick came in to help him, and then he told Nick to leave him alone. So Nick left him alone, and he got flung off the bed because they were sailing. And now
I can only hope that this is what really happened.
Yeah, and because he woke up on the floor, passed out, and so it's like, what do you want the guy to do? You made him leave, you know. So he's like, yeah, left me on the fucking floor, and he goes, well, I couldn't wake you, I couldn't do shit. And Brad's like, he's allowed to have his own life when you're drunk. Okay, baby?
No, you're a guest of fucking mine. That's what Randy's
he's
saying.
a guest of ours. It's ours. It is a guest of ours.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I would have taken care of him. Nick's like, I did. I was holding you, and you were flopping around the whole room. Flopping around the room.
And Matt and Lucy are outside the door with all this press stuff, and they're just listening to this. And Randy's like, you weren't gone. You weren't even with me. And he's like, yeah, because you were fighting me, so I left. No. Yeah, Brad's a witness. And there's fucking still water on the ceiling.
What? And you're like, what? And Brad's the little one. He goes, you threw a whole glass at him. And Nick goes, so go fuck yourself for throwing a glass of water at me and getting it on the ceiling. Lucy's listening and like, what are they arguing about?
I have a whole boyfriend over there.
You got two boyfriends. What are you arguing about?
Oh, so they give the press close to Grant, and they're just listening to this fighting, and Lucy's like, if this is an example of being in a trouble, leave me the fuck away from that one.
So wait, can we just like recap? So as far as we can tell, Randy got wasted, passed out on the bed. They went sailing. Randy flopped off the bed because he was passed out. He wound up on the floor, and he got really mad that he felt like people just left him on the floor. So then when Nick came to help him out, Randy threw a glass of water at him, right?
He told him to leave, and I think Nick wouldn't leave. And so he threw the glass of water at the ceiling, and then they finally just left him. So then he flopped all over the room and ended up waking up on the floor. That's why they were saying there's still water on the ceiling. Like, you can still see it up there from the last time you fucking threw it at me.
My theory is that he didn't throw the glass of water at the ceiling, but the water got on the ceiling via the throw. And the only way that you can get water on the ceiling is if, like, normally when people throw water, it's like that underhanded, like a thrust like this. But if you throw the water like this, if you throw it like overhand, you know, then the water's going to cascade out of the glass and hit the ceiling. So that means Randy threw the glass like a real angry swish at it, which is just like a funny imagery. Like, I just really wish we had cameras for this moment.
So Lucy is in the mess telling Daisy and the captain everything going on. She's like, and then they're fighting, but that one of them's supposed to be a boyfriend, but there's two of them, but then there's a third one. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to call it. A throuple. Well, then they got in a fight because there's one of them, but it's not one of the husbands. It's one of the other ones. It's a throuple. But then they started yelling at each other.
Throuple. So Glenn's like, was anyone getting aggro? Okay, because you know what? Like, if someone gets aggro, let me know immediately if anyone gets aggro. So
yeah, he just starts saying aggro a lot. He's like, I'm not taking any aggros. So then the master cabin, I like that they just keep cutting to the master cabin, and it goes, master cabin, The Throuple.
The Throuple.
Every single time it goes, Master Cabin, the Throuple.
So Randy goes, I'm miserable. Ugh, I'm going to throw up. So now it's like we're approaching dinner now. So now the gays are heading to dinner. And Brad is like, if you get mad and make a public scene, then what happens? And Randy's like, I don't give a shit. Because this is still behind closed doors. And Brad's like, baby, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So now Brad is like pleading with Randy. So we're getting more of like their power dynamic, which is that like Randy goes off the, like goes crazy. And Brad is like powerless to do anything about it.
It's not worth it, baby. He goes, oh, it is. And he goes, please, baby, please. So Randy storms into the hallway. It's like she's like stumbling. And Lucy's been listening this whole time, but she pretends to be picking something up like off the corner of the wall. She's like, oh.
She like flattens herself against the wall. She's like, can't even say me.
And he's so funny. This guy is so wasted. He's just like, I'm going to tell somebody, I don't know who or why, but they're going to get it.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens commercial.
So now it's the dinner table, and the Grant and his boyfriend and the mom are there. And Grant in another statement necklace. And Deborah goes, so you guys call them the truffle? Is that what you're calling them?
Todd's like, mother, it's throuple. And she goes, well, it makes no sense whatsoever. And so Randy arrives at the table and goes, and so it begins. and so then Nick joins. And well, Nick and Brad are walking to the table, but they're like basically debating who has to sit next to Randy. Nick's like, well, he sat down already, so you're going to have to sit first, please. I can't sit next to him.
And Alicia's here. Alicia still works on the boat.
Yeah, she is here.
Yeah, so she's like, firing guests is not ideal, but I've put a lot of work into this, and you're going to enjoy this whether you like it or not. I'm going to serve you a nice dish full of positivity and no drama. I was like, get out. You're fired again.
I know. Colin's like, shift last year did it better. So Deborah's like, so, hey, everyone, did everyone see my unicorn ride today? And then the gays are like joking that they missed it. And they're like, well, Randy untied her and let her loose. And Randy goes, because she wanted it.
It's terrible. So Alicia serves avocado mousse with caviar and toasted bread. And then Nick, the
boyfriend,
the boyfriend goes,
Throuple boyfriend.
That's so funny because I like can't spell caviar, but I live to eat it.
It's not, okay, I don't mean to be.
Honey, you're in your 40s. It's not cute to be stupid.
Caviar's not a hard word. I'm sorry. It's like
it's not a hard word.
It's 6 letters.
Like the ditzy blonde bimbo thing. Like I'm sure worked for you. Obviously, it's still working for you. I mean, you're on a paid cruise, but. You know, at some point you're gonna have to just drop that.
Yeah, you can't be on TV bragging about how you don't know how to spell caviar as you eat it. No, it's
not
just
as
bad
cute.
luck. It's not good. It's not good.
It's not as cute. Fucking stupid people when they're old.
Yeah. It's also not cute to be proudly stupid. You know?
Yeah, like when you're young, it's like, oh my god, it's like cute. It's like naive. When you're old, it's just stupid.
Yeah. It's just bad. It's bad. Like, this is a permanent record of your stupidity. Like, don't lean into it.
But it's also a permanent record of you being with these two. So I don't really know how you're ever going to recover from this. Make this one work because literally nobody else is. Your stock price just went way down. Hurts.
They're going to have a very stupid murder mystery at some point. Like, at some point, Randy's going to die. And it's going to be very obvious that it was Nick who did it and that Brad paid for it. Like, it's just like very obvious, and they're all too stupid to do it like cleanly, and no one's going to get away with it.
Yeah. So Lucy and Mads are doing the master, and Lucy's like, oh my god, Mads, they got sick in the sink. That's what the smell is. I mean, come on, you guys, you fucking pigs. He barfed in the sink, and you guys just left it there for them to clean up. That is so more like people who aren't even embarrassed, you know, like zero fucking shame. Disgusting.
And the thing is, the toilet is right there. Okay, like. You could have just gone one extra foot and opened up the lid and puked in the toilet, but you did it in the sink?
Yeah.
And then you also got ready for dinner. And like you washed up or whatever, but the sink looked like how did that happen? How did you get ready for dinner like that?
Yeah, they just ignored it. Like someone else will do it. So now the next plates are being delivered and Randy lights a smoke right at the table. And I was like, wow. Even as someone who smoked forever, I don't do even
It's just kind of
not
like a
even
trashy look.
Yeah, it's trashy, and it's like, who does that on a yacht? Like, no one is allowed to do that. How are they letting Randy get away with all of this?
He's
shit?
just like trash.
It's just so gross.
He's just like literally
garbage.
garbage. And we'll probably get a message from him being like, you guys don't understand. And actually, you guys are the trash.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Save yourself the typing. You are absolute fucking trash. Okay. You don't only owe gay people an apology. You owe the world an apology. You owe humanity an apology.
You owe Grandma Beth an apology. So, so then steak and parsnips come out next. And then Nick, the dumb one, he goes, oh, what's a parsnip? And so Brad, the little one, is like, he just sort of sighs, like he's exhausted by this question. Like he has to answer these sort of dumb questions all the time. And he's like mortified. He knows his mom is watching. And he's like, Mother doesn't approve of you. And you're just not helping the case right now, asking about parsnips. He goes, it's basically a mix between, and then Nick goes, a potato and parsley? I'm like, no. Okay. Why don't you look at what's on your plate and tell me what part of that looks like parsley? Okay. tell me what part of that white root vegetable in front of you looks anything like parsley.
But parsley at least makes sense because it's part of the word, right? Parsnip. So parsley, okay. But what's the nip then? What's the snip?
It's like a nipped off parsley root. If you said parsley root, I mean, it does sort of look like a parsley root. I'll give him that. But he wasn't thinking about parsley roots. He probably doesn't even realize that parsley has roots. He thinks it's just like grows magically on flat Earth. I'm so mad about the parsnip situation. I can't even tell you.
I'm so mad about the caviar. Like, I hate these people.
The caviar and parsnip combo is it's just like so lethal and toxic. It's just like they're just like so bad. And then Brad is exasperated. He goes, just think potato. I'm like, no, that's wrong too. Parsnip is just like a white carrot.
Yeah.
The disinformation.
So Daisy is now looking at the barf because Lucy is freaking out. She's like, can you believe it? I can't do it. I can't. And Daisy's like, I'm flabbergasted that these people are over 40 years. Really? You dated Gary? So then Grant's boyfriend, Todd, is like, last night this woman was judging the gimp on the street. I was like, oh my God, these people.
I was like, Todd, you're doing so well. All you had to do is not say a single thing and let the throuple just look terrible.
I know. I was like, this couple's nice. And I got to this part. That's why I paused, because I was like, wait, I just said Todd was nice 10 minutes ago.
No. It's like, yeah, they were judging the gimp in the street. Like there was, like, I don't know what that was. I don't even know the context, but I already know that the
mom was being evil with the thruple. And the
mom
were
was being
people
evil
on the street. And she was being a bitch with
someone who like was disabled. And so I'm not even sure if disabled is the proper term that we use anymore, but at least I have awareness not to call someone a gimp and then make fun of them.
And she's like, yeah, well, we were just people watching. And then Brad, the tiny one's like, yeah, we were doing people commenting, right? That's what it was. And he goes, yeah, because the amount of people, I mean, it is amazing how many people don't have mirrors in their house. I was like, oh, God, I hate you too now. I hate all of you.
I know. I was like, that's right. I forgot Deb said this. Also, by the way, this applies to your entire group. Have you guys seen how you guys look? So
exactly. And then Brad actually goes, yeah, well, the backstory is it was a very large people in very tiny clothes. I mean, no respect for others around them. Am I right? I'm like, look at your fucking husband who is wearing a child's shirt. He's wearing a child's small.
Yeah, there is like some industrial strength trying to get those buttons latched up, okay? And you're going to talk about this. And Grant, who is the one wearing the ridiculous statement necklace and being the one who I thought I was going to be making fun of the most, is actually the voice of reason in all this. And he's like, well, I don't give a shit. If they're happy, then whatever. Mind your own business. So now this makes Randy mad.
I wrote,
Randy is mad that
he
is being accused.
Necklace.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I wrote, yes, Grant, team statement necklace.
Randy's like, no, we get to fat shame people. He's like, but at the same time, though, you would not fuck them. And Grant goes, well, that has nothing to do with them being themselves. I was like, what a piece of shit Randy is. Like shaming people for like
Not being hot enough to fuck. Like, you can only
Yeah.
talk to people that are hot enough to fuck. No one would fuck any of you. They're still being nice to you. It's just so
Yeah.
gross.
Sorry, Barney
So
Rubble.
Grant's like, yeah, that has nothing to do with them being themselves. And he goes, it does. It does. It has nothing to do with what you're saying. So what about that? Like, chain smoking all over him. And
Grant is
why
like,
are you ending the season like this? Like, I get like horrible people are sometimes fun. This is not fun, okay? Horrible people are supposed to be fun. This
oh, I thought this was deeply fun. I thought this was
You did?
very fun. Oh yeah. Oh, I was like, oh my god, look at these awful people. I was like, I can't wait to tear them apart. So Grant is like, well, they could do whatever they want without me. It's not about me. And then so now Randy is upset that Grant will not like pass judgment along with him against people who are not like hot enough to fuck. And Brad is like, well, sorry you got pressed about something that has nothing to do with you. And Randy's like, I'm sick of your opinion. He exhales really loud. He's like, and don't ever try me again, bitch.
Yeah, he throws his arm over the mom and like points in his face. And don't try me again. And Grant's like, you barked at me, motherfucker. And he's like, you turned it into something that wasn't even a thing. The mom's like, well, how about those mitts? I was like, oh, you shut up, Deborah, the
Matilda.
fucking monster. You shut up.
well,
You started
that-
this.
And now Brad is very happy to like have fighting words because now he's like has Randy as a shield. Like Randy will beat him up. I can say whatever I want. So they're both I was like, Brad, I was rooting for you. You're stuck in a toxic relationship. I was like, oh no, you're a piece of shit too. You went out and you're making fun of someone in the street who, like, I don't know, isn't walking the way you want them to walk, and now you're gonna cower behind your brute boyfriend and go after the guy who actually has some common sense in the situation.
Yeah, and he's also one of those who like goes up and fights, right beside his man until he wants to be a victim. And then he's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, he's so mean.
my God, he hit me.
It's like, so mean.
So Todd takes Grant, and Todd brings, because Grant's getting really mad. So Todd takes Grant downstairs to their room, and they're just to cool off and to talk. And Grant's like, interesting people. And Randy's like, interesting what? Interesting what? Interesting what? It's like,
And
you're a very
Todd's like,
interesting
you're a
man.
very interesting man. And he goes, say it out loud, you piece of shit. He just did, you idiot. So Randy's like, yeah, fuck him. Todd can do better. Todd can do better. And he ashes his cigarette out on the plate. Utter garbage. So then
Garbage.
drama music as the couple goes downstairs. And Randy's like, I'm going to go talk to them. And Brad's like, not me. And he goes, well, I am. Let me out. And Brad's like, oh my God. Please just let him out. I don't want to be part of this. I'm like, but you are. And you were just
you're an
cheering him
enabler.
on. Yeah, you were just cheering him on and getting him even more riled up. And now you're just happy that you don't have to deal with it anymore.
And now you're also not doing anything to stop your rageful husband. You're just cowering. You're like, oh my God, what do I do? So now Randy goes, Randy like shoves the rest of his Throuple out of the booth. He's like, get out of the way. They like tumble out of the booth. And then he goes storming downstairs. And Randy he just walks into their room. And Randy's like, you guys have to realize. And Grant's like, you can't just come into a room, dude. Like, get out of my room. Get out of my room. And then Todd loses his shit. Todd goes berserk.
He walks out of the room and he points down the hall and he's like, get out of this room. Get out. Get out of this room or get off this boat. This is unbelievable. Also,
Unbelievable.
These guys are the main ones. Obviously, they don't know these other three, right? I don't think they know this Throuple. I think Below Deck paired them up because they do that sometimes with people where they're like, oh my God, we're a group of friends. But then you find out later they were never a group of friends. It's just random people who said they'd come on the show. So they were like, oh, they're gays and they're gays. Let's put them all together. And didn't work out.
Yeah, Todd's like, get off the boat. And so now Glenn shows up and Randy's like, is this how you want to talk? Is this how you want to act? And Glenn's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm telling you, the first moment I see anyone getting aggro, it's my favorite word, aggro, they will be off the boat. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, and the second moment I see someone aggro, you'll not only be off the boat, but I'm going to have the girl from season 1 sing that song on guitar. Yeah, we still got her around. You don't want to go to that place. You don't want to have to listen to her song.
And Randy's like, we're not even now. And he's like, oh, yeah, keep it in mind when you talk to your friends. But we aren't even violent. We just want to talk. And he's like, let me make it clear. And he's like, there's nothing to be clear about. Dude, you're getting aggro with me. You know, you were this far from getting... Wait, hold on. Here it comes. Love and trees.
Randy's like, no! Straight white girl doing singer-songwriter shit, trying to have jazzy voice. Oh, this trip is ruined.
That girl, how she was just like, all she wanted was to sound like an Apple commercial, where it's like they hire like some 13-year-old French girl to sing a song like to toy box music.
I hate jazzy voice on a singer-songwriter.
I'm tired when I think about you, and I want to sing like this. The blueberries and
So basically, Randy gets told, right? And he's like, this is ridiculous. And then Ray opens his door and he goes, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because I tried to have a normal conversation with him after I barged into his room, unannounced and unwelcome. So whatever, bitch.
And then Daisy comes down. I was surprised at this. She comes down and she's like,
well, maybe it's best to leave it till the morning when everyone's calmed down. How about that?
and Randy's like, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. Now I'm going to go wipe my ass with all the towels that you have to clean in the morning. Okay? Bye.
So then Brad upstairs is like, if Randy gets rubbed the wrong way, then you're fucked. You're royally fucked. So he's like clearly.
And Deborah the mom puts her hand on his shoulder and she's like, no, honey, no. And then Lucy's like, I've dealt with nightclub scenes like this. This woman wanted to get into the VIP part and I wouldn't let her because she wasn't in that section. And she punched me. And then I fell down the stairs and rolled out into the street where I was hit by a taxi, which I rolled over the hood of and was flown into the air. Then I dropped right at the edge of a wood chipper. Almost lost me hair that day.
Now that I think about it, no one actually ever punched me. I just walked me face into a pipe. Oh,
well. So the couple is in the room, and Todd's like, and Grant's like, calm down. It's all right. Just let it go. And he's like,
And then Deb she's hugging Brad up on the deck. And she's like, honey, you deserve so much better. And Brad's whispering, goes, if we get divorced, he's going to take me for everything I have. And she goes, you didn't get a prenup? She goes, no. She goes, what the fuck were you thinking?
It's like, I know. I hope he does take you for whatever you're worth. You little fucking rat.
Now you know.
You're just as bad. You both suck. You're terrible. And I'm not buying your victim act either. You were just being really mean 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly. They can go down together in a pit of misery.
Yeah, so I hope you have fun going down together. So, well, I guess they do technically go down together.
They do go down together.
So Chase is like, I feel like I can help because I'm in a security guard before I look at these muscles.
So meanwhile, Daisy and Gary are talking about relationship stuff. So they're talking about the morning drama. Gary's complaining like, well, Alex stirring up shit, blah, blah, blah. And Daisy's like, well, I still don't understand. What do you want from Mads? You either want to be with her or you don't want to be with her. And he's like, well, I need to take some time off and get my mind off of fucking work for once. Blah, 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 blah. And then he like sort of slaps Daisy's thigh and grabs it, but like way too high up. I was like, this guy... Terrible boundaries.
The master. Okay, so now we're in the throuple. The master.
Back to
the throuple.
The throuple.
Yeah, we get the title. Master Gavin, the throuple. So Randy's like, I want off this boat and I want to go home. And Brad's like, then why don't you stop drinking then? And Nick's like, yeah, and sleep. And then maybe I'll feel better in the morning.
Randy goes, fuck you both. So then Nick goes, go to sleep, you messy motherfucker.
And Chase is literally standing right outside their door, like a bodyguard. And then he waits for them to finally shut up and then walks off. So in the morning, Grant comes out in his Blanche Devareaux, poncho nightgown thing and, flails up. And Alex tells Chase, yeah, I'm going to see if you missed anything today. Chase is like, I'm sure I did.
And there's like, Grant and Todd are upstairs for breakfast, or they're getting ready for breakfast and stuff. They're just like lying out there. They're saying they're open to a breakfast experience on the deck. And Chase Jace and Mads are bantering, and Jace is like, I dare you to hit on the guy you actually like. And Mads goes, I do it. I do hit on him every day because I'm a hoe. She's like,
and Chase goes, you're a politician is what you are. And Alex passes by and goes, that's even worse than a hoe. So then Daisy sends Mads to the beach, and it's kind of hilarious because she's sending him with Alex. And then breakfast delivery and blah, blah. So they have to lead like an exercise. They have to do exercise with the guests on the beach, which, what? What kind of
Sounds like a
job is
nightmare.
this? You guys don't have to do this.
it was supposed to be a group activity with all the guests, but obviously the throuple, TM, they slept in because they got wasted and they were fighting all night. So while that group goes off to do their morning calisthenics on the beach, the throuple is talking in the guest room again. Like, high drama in this room. So now Nick is like, guys, if we can't enjoy ourselves here in Sardinia, then why the fuck are we together? Existential crisis hits the throuple.
So then the couple is ordering tequila punch for the bitch, and they're leaving. They're going on the tender, right? And then Nick and Randy are like, how are we supposed to even approach the others? And he's like, let's just, look, shit happens. We'll just move forward. So Lucy goes into the master cabin, and she's like, oh my God, the sink is fucked, and the toilet too, it's got poop in it. I can't.
They break Lucy.
And then she just starts melting down. She's like, I may be a maid, I may have to clean toilets, but I should never have to flush the toilet from grown-ass men. Fucking gross.
These gays do to Lucy what gravity was not able to do. Destroy her. So Lucy... Gravity has tried. So Lucy FaceTimes her dad. She's like crying. She's like, these people are animals. I'm not even joking, Dad. And the dad has no patience for it. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's 4 days, Lucy. Get through it. Just pet the animals, Dad. I want out of here, Dad. I just want to go. I'm so tired.
I don't blame her. I'm totally on her side, but I think it's so funny that the dad is so used to picking up calls from a hysterical Lucy. He's on a bike with a bike helmet on when he answers the phone. He's like, all right, you're all right. And he's like always answering it to see if it's an ambulance calling or if it's a hospital or something calling to tell him, Lucy's fallen down a volcano hole or something.
He's like, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, don't break now, you fragile little girl. And she's like, but Dad, they don't even flush the toilet, Dad.
Is that what everyone else is dealing with? It's not just you, yeah? Please don't let it get to you. It's not worth it. It's like, all right, gotta go then. Oh, God.
So then over on the beach for the workouts, I felt bad for Mads because they're like, hey, Mads, can we use you as like a plank? And she's like stuck in plank position for like 15 minutes. And they're like lifting up her legs and they're like having her stand there. They're jumping over her. You just know she's like, guys, I think my core is about to give out. Can we stop this, please?
It's just so weird. This whole workout's really weird. And Grant's like, oh my God, nice tight core, Mads. And Alex goes, yeah, thanks for the sick pump, Mads, because he's working out with them. So next they go swimming. And then Gary and Colin are doing sales stuff and talking. And Colin's like, who's at the beach then? Alex and Mads. He's like, oh, Alex and Mads. So what's on your mind? You don't seem your normal perky self. Is it because Mads is with Alex and they might make a little boom chicka boom boom?
He goes, well, I don't know. Maybe it's like the end of the season. I'm really tired of everyone telling me how I should feel. I'm like, what is Gary talking about now? How people telling him how he should feel. Now he's going to be the sensitive soul who's tired of too much external input because he's like going through things, guys. People aren't telling you how you should feel. They're telling you what is proper decorum on a boat when you're in a management position.
And Colin's like,
Actually, they're not even
so
doing
you're
that.
sure it's not because Mads and Gary are on the beach right now, possibly making little babies named Madslix, or Alads? What would their romantic name be? He's like, stupid brew! I'm tired of people telling me how I feel. He's like, who's telling you that? And he goes, everyone, you, Daisy. Daisy keeps asking me if I like meds. And I say, no, I guess, but I don't know why it's so concerning to her. Like, what difference does it make if I like meds or not? Concentrate on you and your life. I was like, God, this guy is so...
He's such a... underminer.
He's such an
right?
asshole. Yes, he's such an underminer. He really is.
He's trying to make Daisy seem like obsessed with whether or not Gary is interested in
he's
another
telling
girl.
Gary, he's telling Colin, like, yeah, my feelings are hurt, and then obviously Daisy's in love with me, and
Right.
Still
She's
faking
waiting
it
for an
with you,
answer.
and that's frustrating.
He is a real piece of shit. He's like a psychopath. So now the beach people all come back, and Todd and Grant are back on the boat, and Randy just goes up to Grant and goes, "Apologies, I was very rude," and they just like hug, and Grant's like, "Thanks, I needed that. I really appreciate that." I was like, "Oh, fuck you guys, all of you. Don't take him back as a friend."
When they're they won't. They hate him. So when they're leaving the beach, they go, "Hey, are we going to go soon?" And Alex goes, he was in a conversation with Madsen and goes, "Yeah, you have a good sense of style." Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll let him know. They're still talking about their style. Which is so fucking funny. It's like hours later.
So now Daisy checks in with Colin. She's like, "How you doing?" And Colin's like, "Well, I had an interesting chat with Gary." She's, "What about what?" And she goes, "Well, he's very confused because you keep asking him if he likes Mads or not. And he's like, why is she asking me? And why is she so interested? It's got me thinking a bit as well." Daisy's like, "Well, here's my friend. The other day I asked him because he was upset. And I asked him why he was upset. And I didn't go up to him and randomly be like, 'Oh, so how do you like Mads?' It didn't come from there. I looked upset. That's why I asked him."
Well, that's not what he made it sound like. And he's like, "My defense mechanisms are kicking in a bit. I don't feel like Gary's just going to step aside and let us be together." You don't? Really? You don't? And you didn't foresee this being a problem? And Daisy didn't either? And Daisy still doesn't see that it's weird to be with Gary, like asking about his feelings and what he's got for Matt. This whole throuple is so weird. And also, none of you have any real chemistry. Do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like Daisy and Colin, but I have to say, I'm a progressive person. Like if someone wants to be in a throuple, I really don't care. Like as long as everyone's happy. But I would say that this episode is really not doing great advocacy work on behalf of throuples, whether it is the gay throuple or the straight throuple. They're both really showing
it's like
dysfunctionality.
friendships. It's hard in a three because it's like roommate situations. The other two can always gang up on one. And it's just always. It's never going to work
triangle.
out. It needs to be like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Then's when I can get into it. You can get different teams going, but one person is always going to need someone else to talk to against the other two.
Yeah, this is bad. So now there's like some more stuff that just is happening on the boat, just like things. And then we come back to Colin and Daisy, but now they're in a different room and they're still talking. And Colin is saying like, Gary, he's desperate for a relationship. And then we cut to Madison and she's like, "I can keep on a good smile and swallow a lot of shit, but there's a point where I can't keep smiling anymore." And then it cuts back to Daisy and she's saying like, "I really couldn't care about Gary and a lot of his relationships. And I was only trying to help him as a friend."
And Colin's like, "Well, the way he twists things is just confusing." Colin, have you watched this show? You've been on it. This is your 3rd year on the show. Gary and Daisy have had a thing this whole time. Like, why is this so surprising to Colin? I'm very confused, and I'm not buying his whole, "I'm just a sensitive guy getting my feelings hurt by all of this." I don't buy it.
Yeah,
I think
I kind of buy it. I think he's a drama queen, but I kind of buy it.
a drama queen, and he's doing it on purpose, so he has something to like be a victim about for future dates.
I don't know. I don't feel like he has a future date victimization going on, but I do feel like he is a drama queen. I feel like he's both things. I think he's a drama queen, and I do think that he's like confused. And I don't know why he's confused. He shouldn't be confused, but I do think that it's a sincere confusion. So Daisy, he's
Can't
like,
answer. Yeah. I've got no answers here, only guesses.
"We'll just have to see how this pans out," because Daisy says, "He's disrespectful towards you, and you're the person I want to be with, Gary. I mean, Colin." So,
Listen, I've been calling Gary. Colin. Oh, God. What am I talking about? And
look, they left a box here. Do you mind carrying this to the front? I mean, carrying it to the front.
this is why I think they have no chemistry and they don't belong together. And some people will argue the opposite, that this is proof that they do have chemistry and belong together. But here's my theory. They're like laying on the bed, but her foot is on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And
like
she's
right
so
here.
comfortable. And I get that some people are like, oh my God, that's so cute. They're already so comfortable together. No, if you're already that comfortable together, you guys aren't even dating yet. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be that comfortable already. You're going to be wiping boogers on each other before you're even married. Like, you can't do that.
By the way, I have a very important question. I have put my hand on my shoulder to show like what it looked like for Daisy to put her foot on Colin's shoulder. Why does my hand look like it's coming from a dead corpse?
It does. It's something with
terrifying.
Your well, why do I have Kyle Richards' hands except in extra large?
I have a corpse hand. It's a zombie pulling me down. Okay, so this means we're at the end of the
your
episode.
lighting. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about your lighting, but
But I have
really
everything
does.
else. The lighting is normal. Look, my hand is normal here, but it becomes a corpse here. But it's normal here, but it's a corpse here. It's normal here, corpse
It's
here.
the bend. It's all in the bend. I like that. I look like I have like a Jesus halo on me. I didn't really
Your
notice
sunset
that. The
is
sun's,
beautiful.
isn't it? The sun's setting right behind me, but it's like in the center of my head, so it looks
It's
like my
wonderful.
bald. I'm like bald Jesus. I'm like if Uncle Fester was the son of God.
It's beautiful. I put up a sailboat video, not realizing that people would be walking around throughout all of it, and so I've been trying to like fast forward back and forth to get the people out of it the entire episode, which has been fun because I don't want to be distracting. So anyway, it's a cliffhanger, which is basically Daisy saying like, if Gary can't be friends with me without stirring shit, then I don't want to be his friend. So will their friendship?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin is.
I wasn't
just, yeah, Colin is just filler. You know, this is the Gazy story. Okay, sorry, it just is. Love him or hate him, this is the Gary and Daisy love story. Colin's just like that guy who spent a season, you know, in the Spanas.
So now we have one episode left of the season. Many questions have to be asked, which is, do Daisy and Colin have a future? What's going to happen with Gary and Mads? Will Brad and Nick push Randy overboard and then act like it was a drunken accident? Who knows?
Will anybody like Colin or Chase, even though he keeps walking around telling everybody he's got a huge dick? No. Probably still won't. My guess is no. Like, even a dick can't win that personality. Okay. Sorry.
Well,
honey.
everyone-
Can't say that, I guess I should say. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. I won't make Ben do it. It's not his turn to do it, and I feel bad. I just keep pushing that responsibility. But everybody, we love you.
care.
Thank you for being here. You want to watch these videos? They're up on YouTube a week after. If you want to watch them the day they're posted, get your butt over to Patreon. Thank you to everybody who's there. We sure love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie, she's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel. She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com.